Used to being in the middle of two dudes. Move over, John.
All right.
You do know that we are in live.
Orange County Championship Wrestling presents the Royal Ramble with your host, Azrael. And in for Mikey O'Shea, none other than the inimitable myself, yours truly, Jonathan Malice. We also have a special guest, Sandra.
Hello. Hi.
We're going to talk about all things wrestling, namely the independent scene here in Orange County and Southern California. We will also talk tonight about the greatest Rumble and if it truly was the greatest Rumble. Azrael, your thoughts?
First of all, I'd like to say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what your country can do to other countries. And I'm looking at you, South Korea, you shifty bunch of, driving around with your left blinker on. You're gonna get some freedom. You're gonna get some freedom, you joining with that North Korea. I don't like that tag team over there now. No, sirree. I like the petrodollar, not the petro yuan. You know what I'm saying?
The views of Azrael are the views of Azrael alone. They do not reflect the views or opinions of Orange County Championship Wrestling, Free Admission Channel, the Royal Ramble, or anyone else in their right mind. Sandra, go ahead.
I saw Othello on Monday Night Raw, and he was running to the ring, and then he fell, and then he was rolling all the way down underneath. I don't know how that man gets around so fast. You need to focus on OCCW, Othello.
That wasn't Othello. That was Titus O'Neil, Azrael.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes.
How do you know?
They're two totally different people.
How so? They fit the description, which is pretty much all that I need in a court of law for one to be the other.
Moving on.
Yep.
The greatest Rumble, Sandra.
Yes.
You saw it. Your opinions, some of the facts and figures. More importantly, your opinion on Braun Strowman winning the greatest Rumble and who turned in the best performance.
Well, I enjoyed it. It wasn't that bad for being almost a gimmick type of show. So, what are you guys doing?
Just go ahead.
So
We're
weird.
listening.
I'm not a lawyer.
Sandra's
Technically
easily
you
distracted.
are.
She's used to being in the middle when there's two guys around. Go ahead. Finish up.
A frequent visitor to the Eiffel Tower.
I'm sorry. That was a joke. That's not true. And I didn't mean to say that it was. Go ahead.
You're a bad person.
All right. You were very bad.
Okay.
But it was pretty good matches. Not gonna lie. When your first match was John Cena versus Triple H, then you knew that you're gonna have some good times and fun, which pretty much what it was.
So run us through that match real quick.
That was the slowest, most plotting affair I've seen from either guy in like 10 years. It was like headlock, look around. Are they bombing us? Is anybody ticking? Are we good? Have we offended anyone? Is Allah coming? Are 50 virgins gonna fall upon the winner?
Well,
shoulder block.
Not that I share his opinion, but one thing that was brought up, I don't know if it was on the pod or on the broadcast or I remember talking about it. What it must be like to be in a stadium full of millionaires.
I wouldn't know. I was at Amped Up Wrestling, where everyone pays with EBT and or Snap.
Not true. They paid cash. I worked the door.
Okay, that was good of you.
So, anyway.
Did you check for their photo ID like I commanded?
No, you know what? Since it was an all-ages show, I felt no real reason to do that. But moving on. All right, so how did that match end? Triple H and,
basically, John Cena was just trying to do the five-knuckle shuffle. Even Triple H did one with the crotch chop at the end, too.
Allahu Akbar.
So at the end, John Cena went over. He did a little promo saying, like, he wouldn't miss this match for the world because he was technically talking about the breakup with Nikki, and people thought he wasn't going to show up, but he showed up and all that stuff. But it's just Nikki Bella.
The first JC to go over in the Middle East in 2,000 years. And I couldn't see either one.
No, you couldn't see either one.
Not even Triple H?
No, JC.
Oh.
The King of Kings, Triple H.
Next one was Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto.
How'd that go?
It was one of their good matches. I'm not a big fan of Kalisto. They could have had someone else there, like Gulak or
Why
Mustafa.
do you hate Kalisto? You are a racist.
No.
What?
No, it's all right.
Racism of my own kind.
I like how well Kalisto jumps. That's how he got here in the first place. Stuck with what brought you to the dance.
Well, he's not going to be able to jump back
That-
if you get what you want, right? That
Yeah,
fence is going
that's
to be way
true.
too high, huh?
Maybe he's gonna get an even bigger trampoline. I don't know. Whee!
He,
Next-
he
next
always
match.
eats shit on that trampoline, too. The next one was Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Dabar, Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah.
And it's for the vacant tag team titles.
Wait a minute. Why are they... Here, watch. Go ahead, watch. Why were those tag team titles vacant?
Well, the stupid little kid had to go back to school. You know, he's got to go
School
learn
is
that. You
cool.
What's the name of that kid?
know, Nicholas.
Notice I'm not breaking into
You
violence.
don't have, incredible issues
don't have that special
with other
rage.
people getting opportunities as they so deserve. Kudos to young Nicholas for being the youngest tag team champion
He's
of
the
all
best.
time. And one better than Mikey O'Shea.
Speaking of Mikey O'Shea, I want to give a shout out to Mikey O'Shea, who wrestled this week at WCWC up in Portland,
many
Oregon.
Ws, many
Yes,
Cs.
many C's, many
W's
W's.
and C's.
He's wrestling up in Portland. If you get a chance, that show should be on the Fight app. Is it the Fight app?
I think
that
it's
on?
the Fight app.
And so check that out. We're going to give a shout out to Mikey O'Shea, who I know is watching right now. You better be Mikey O'Shea, or I'm going to dock your pay. All right, next match.
Yeah,
Wait! Bray Wyatt is not the first bearded madman to find success in the Middle East. There's been a long and storied tradition of deranged lunatics finding success in that region. So I was not surprised that Bray Wyatt was able, with his pseudo-religious stuff, to find a cult following in, the land of rabid madmen.
Do you think that he was over with that crowd due to his...
He has the appropriate beard.
Yes.
It is the length of the time of Muhammad. He was there, and Matt Hardy was, fat, as Matt Hardy has been for many years now.
he's old, not fat.
He
Little
does
of both.
not look good. Yes,
No.
he does not look good. It would be hard pressed to look at him and point to a professional athlete just from looking at him. But he is amazingly talented and well established, experienced, and he's done more than his fair share.
What's next for Sheamus and Cesaro?
They're going to SmackDown now.
Thank God. Onward and upward for Sheamus and Cesaro. Championships to the moon for, those fellas.
Congratulations to
Because they're
those
both
fellas.
white.
They're
God bless
white.
them.
They're not white. One of them's Irish, isn't he?
Yes,
He's
they're
translucent.
both they're both not American.
All right.
But anyway,
That
next
doesn't make them white.
Yeah.
The Germans were white.
I'm a real American.
Go ahead.
Anyways, the next match was Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal.
Now let me ask you this: Jinder Mahal is Indian, right? From India.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how did he get over? Did he get over with that crowd, or was there a little bit of?
Nah, nobody really.
They didn't really care.
No, there wasn't that type of
That's
rabid.
why he didn't go over.
I see.
That's how he didn't go over last time too, when Triple H basically pedigreed him, pinned him 1, 2, 3,
I see.
done.
Mumbo jumbo, Jinder Mahal's god looks like Dumbo. I fear not, the guy that I ride around on at Disneyland on the ride. Strike me down with that, Jumbo. I'm right here.
Are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Not the Aladdin ride. Is there an Aladdin ride at Disneyland?
I think they took
No,
it
you
out.
could ride on Dumbo.
Oh, Dumbo.
Have you never been to Disneyland?
It's been a long time. The last time I was at Disneyland, there was no Cars theme.
Then you need
People
children.
ask me, which child is yours? And I say, I haven't decided yet.
I was
I'm
gonna
looking
say,
for an athlete.
I feel like Disneyland is like, oh god.
Shopping around.
Disneyland is Disney is no longer, in my opinion, Disney is no longer a good thing. Disneyland is no longer a good place.
I like that they pay their employees like slaves, and they
Yes.
live
Oh,
together
yeah.
in hovels around the local area, where as many as 15 of them are packed in together on mattresses on the floor.
Yeah, it's very nice, very nice. For the cost of entry for one person, right? You could pay 3 Disney employees.
This is true, but they
And the
don't.
prices are going
They
up
don't.
again.
That's right, yes, but they don't.
Why is a churro $8?
Why is what?
A churro, $8.
It's like $10 now.
Anyway,
Anyways,
so let's move on.
the next
When
one,
was the last time you had a churro?
I got hit with one in the face 3 weeks ago by Dynamo. He slapped me with it while we were fighting before our
Sure
cage
was a
match.
churro?
Yes,
Okay.
it was very cinnamony.
I thought you were going to say
Next.
salty. Next one was the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos.
Now, from what I've seen of the Bludgeon Brothers, now are they in line to be like the next Legion of Doom?
Yes.
I mean, they look like just a wrecking crew. They make the other teams, right, look like
3/5 of a person.
well, not exactly 3/5 of a person, but they just look like a more cohesive unit. And are they the champs right now? Yeah.
Yeah, they're the champs.
Okay, so they were up against who?
The Usos.
The Usos. How did that match go? That sounds like a match that with a lot of potential.
It was quite short. I think if I remember it was the shortest one. It was like 5 minutes. It was almost
really?
a squash match. Really.
Well, that's how their
Which was
match at
it's
WrestleMania
weird.
was too, right?
No, like it was another short match, but at least they highlighted the Usos. This was just basically, clothesline, 1, 2, 3,
Really?
down, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't, for the story that they are trying to build up for Backlash, it's kind of weird because it's like, the Greatest Rumble isn't, it's supposed to be something in the outside
It's
world.
a one-off.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like the story that's been going on SmackDown made no sense with the thing. So it kind of like threw everything off a little bit for me. But hopefully they can bring it back in Backlash if they have one more match.
All right. So
But
where are
I
we at
didn't really enjoy it at all.
No?
Because they had the beards. It's a big deal to those people. You grow the big beard, you have magical powers, and people just follow you. They both look like they've romanced a few sheep in their life.
Okay,
They fit
moving
right in.
along.
One of them
Moving
does
along.
wear a sheep mask anyway.
Yes!
Seth
He
Rollins
found a
versus
lovely
Finn
husband.
Balor versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz for the IC title. That one was actually a really good one
Right,
because
right.
it was a ladder match.
Right.
So Joe was doing fantastic. The Miz was actually doing good
Yeah,
too.
well-
I love The Miz.
Yeah, The Miz
He
is-
can do no wrong. But at the end, Seth Rollins won. And he's going to have his match with The Miz at Backlash. So hopefully
Okay.
Miz picks up that title, even though he's at SmackDown.
I would have dared Finn Balor to come out in his rainbow stuff. Where's your stones,
Yeah, right.
Finn?
Yeah.
Don't, come on now. It's okay all the time, or it's not.
Fair
Did you see his Twitter post about that too?
No. What did he say?
He was
No.
all like,
I'm
"Oh,
a
the only
coward."
reason I don't have it is because the laundry. Yeah, laundry."
Probably didn't want to get beheaded, huh? Something like
I
that.
didn't want to
Which
make out with
sucks.
Seth Rollins.
Yes. Moving along.
AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Now that has greatness written all over it with
It was way better than their WrestleMania.
Right.
Because they finally built Shinsuke as a heel, as in the WrestleMania one was just kind of like, what?
happenstance, right?
Yeah, it was just like face versus face-ish.
Right.
So it was kind of weird. But now that they built Styles as a face and Nakamura as a heel, it was a better match. It was a double count out because they just ended up beating the bejesus out of each other.
I hate that more
all
than
the
you
way
can
to the
imagine.
end.
Double countouts. That is like the lamest
Yeah.
ending of any kind of match.
It is,
Just
but
admit you don't want anything to happen in this one.
yeah,
Cowardice.
but what were they?
Well, we had a
AJ
couple
can't be
of those
taking
in
a
our last show.
pin.
Cowardice.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
I like that Shinsuke's admitted that he can't speak English. Just embrace it. You know, fly into the face of it.
And the low blows are funny.
Now, am I correct in assuming that there were absolutely no women's matches on this card?
No.
Not
Okay,
a one.
Now
Thank God.
let me say this. All right.
Okay, let's hear what you got.
All right, Mr. Vince McMahon, Mr. God Bless America, Mr. I am a patriot to no end. Why weren't there any women's matches on this card?
$20 million. It's a lot of money, Johnny Malice. For $20 million, I'll put a diaper on you and have you a kendo stick, angel for 20 minutes.
Okay, well,
It's a lot of money.
to a billionaire.
Or rupees.
Is it rubles?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Shiny stones.
Dinars? I don't know. In any case, Vince McMahon, I'm telling you right now, shame on you. Shame on you for abandoning your beliefs in every man, woman, and child is equal in the eyes of the Lord, right? Land of the free, home of the brave. All these things mean nothing to you, even though you go on and on. Oh, I support the troops here. I, wave the flag there. Donald Trump is my man. There. You know what? You abandon all that for $20 million. You would not put women on that card so that you could have it in the land of the millionaires. To hell with you. The only American phrase that you seem to really understand it and embrace is "in God we trust," i.e. e pluribus unum. In other words, you are driven solely by the dollar. You have no ideals, right? You have, Vince, you're 70-something years old now, right? You know, heaven's door is right there, right? You're going to be, and you refuse to put anything higher than the dollar. I mean, look, I'm in business too. Granted, I'm not a billionaire. All right, fair enough. Not a millionaire. But I have my morals. I have scruples. She has morals and ethics and scruples, right? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Not a women's match on the card. Because they won't allow women to wear anything less than a
ninja costume
over there. Now, I don't know how you people feel about this. Right? You could say, well, you know, he's in business to make money, all right?
But then,
and why isn't anybody saying anything about this? That he will not put women, or he will put his show in a place that will not allow his employees to ply their trade only because they are women.
I had a problem with there being no women's matches on this card. I had to hold my pee for 5 hours. I didn't have an opportunity to go to the restroom, to get a hot dog, nothing. I had to sit there and watch match after match after match with no opportunity to drain my bladder.
On the positive note, the women got paid.
To do what?
Because since they weren't able to be in the show, they ended up getting paid for that show.
Oh, so they got a little hush money.
Yeah, but still.
That's what that is.
It's better than
nothing. You know what?
nothing.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we do a show? Why don't we do a show in the South, and we won't let any of our black wrestlers wrestle?
Hey, if
right?
they get paid.
Because why don't we do a show for the KKK?
Yes!
Huh? Do a show for the KKK, and, you know, as an indie, you know, wrestler. I could do a show for the KKK or the Skid Row Mafia or whatever you want to call them, and we won't use any of our black wrestlers or Mexican wrestlers. The only people that'll actually be wrestled will be Danny and O'Shea.
I am the champion, finally.
Because,
my eyes have seen
don't worry, Marcus Frey. Don't worry, Othello. Don't worry, Sean Black. I'll still pay you, but you can't wrestle because you know they don't believe in that sort of thing there. Does that put a different look on it for you?
You don't get to bump then, and you get paid.
I could be in the NBA right now if not for people like Othello, I tell you that much. I could be shooting those layups, playing that fundamentals, shooting my jumper, you know what I mean? Setting the pick and roll.
Next match.
I'd be rich.
Undertaker versus Rusev.
Rusev Machka.
So
What's
that
that?
one,
Go ahead,
that
Taz.
one was, it actually surprised me because given what we saw with John Cena versus Undertaker, I thought it was going to be under 3 minutes, just pile driver, tombstone, you know, 1, 2, 3, just kind of push him in there and then that's it. But they really highlighted Rusev in this, and I know that Aiden didn't really take that tombstone right, and he had to be like carried back because Undertaker kind of slipped him a little.
Okay.
But other than that, it was a good
Mark Calloway.
good type of thing.
Make up your mind. Are you in or are you out?
Rude.
He's in. He got that new hip or knees. What was it?
Whatever
His
it
knee or
is,
hip?
it's like, hey, now you're hurting people now. It's bad enough that you got to do jobber matches, right? Now you're going to hurt people. Okay, I like The Undertaker. I respect The Undertaker. But I also expect Mother Nature and Father Time, all right?
And that hair.
And I also appreciate my time. And when I watch a match where it takes you longer to get to the goddamn ring than the match itself, right? I'm done.
Ambiance. That's the whole thing. Is it?
It would be different if it was a he comes out, he's bouncing around, blah, blah, it's The Undertaker, right? But it's like this. Boom.
It's the funeral march.
Boom.
It's the
Yeah,
old
it sure
man
is.
death.
It's the funeral of my attention span. Okay. Let's take a few comments from people watching online.
Undertaker
Let's
versus
see,
Muhammad.
Let's see, Joey the Bull. The last time John was at Disneyland, his people were building it.
That makes sense. The county was all orange groves when John was a youth.
That's
Smelled
true.
nice.
Let's see, Bully Zone is in the building. Debbie Dupree says, boo to the Miz. Brian Chansey, our number one fan, says hello.
Hail!
CJ Infante
Yes.
says it was all right for what it was.
Uh,
So, thank you guys for watching. Like and share. Make sure you subscribe to the Royal Ramble. Get your friends online. And for those of you who continue to support, we will make sure that our sponsor, T No Evil, Live Die Live, novelty shirts, hats, and metal pins for your pleasure. Not really.
Yes.
But make sure you check them out. That's tnoevil.com. tnoevil.com.
Good Sandra has an opinion about wrestling here in America, because if you had in Saudi Arabia, they'd probably stone you to death.
You had any kind of opinion,
well, I tend not to act very ladylike sometimes. Next one, Brock versus Roman in
No.
a steel cage match, which is a hot mess.
Well, yeah.
What?
It's just F5, F5, F5.
Hey, Nolan Ryan won a
Superman
lot of
punch,
games with that
F5.
fastball of his. He didn't need to be switching it up to all them other stupid pitches.
Well, he had a slider and a pretty good curveball.
Fine.
Okay. All right. Now let me ask you a question about the F5. And let's break this. I want to talk to the wrestler in Azrael, not the social commentary, the social
Who?
professor.
Commence.
Yes. When does a finishing move no longer become a finishing move and just become? For instance, there was
You
a
hit on the
time
dude 7 times.
when a suplex, boom, was the end of the match. Back we're talking about John Tolos and Freddie Blassie, right? Now,
I knew them both.
suplex just comes is part of the, like a clothesline used to be the end
Super
of the
kick.
match. Super kick, right? Now,
Completely worthless.
when can you say that a move is no longer a finishing move, but now just another?
When a dude walks away from it 7 goddamn times in a
I
single
mean,
match.
they don't even do
and
that on a
doesn't
suplex.
stop
If you
him?
suplex someone 7 times in a row, boom, no.
But then the dumb thing about it is that for a whole year, every time Brock did an F5, it was a 1, 2, 3 pin.
Right.
Joe went down. Braun went down. All the people that Brock had a match with, just one F5, 1, 2, 3. So it's so dumb that Roman could take 5 and no sell them
Because
all.
Roman Reigns is a stallion of a man. He is a god among peasants, a dark titan,
You do know he's
wandering
not
in the
white.
land of normal people. Those Samoans are, soulless and made out of concrete.
All right, let's go.
And he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, that's true. That stupid vest.
That takes us to the 50-man greatest
hate that
Rumble.
vest.
I use the term greatest sparingly,
I
but
liked it.
the largest Rumble, we'll say.
Yeah.
Okay, who was the first man in?
It was Daniel Bryan and Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. Okay.
Ziggy.
And who lasted the longest?
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
He was there
For
an
like
hour.
an hour,
Hour and
and
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably the longest performance.
Would you say he put on the best performance?
Oh yeah, because Roderick Strong, I'm not sure what number he came out of. They had a chop off, and Daniel Bryan's chest was just welts. Everything from his pit. I don't know where he got the marks on his armpit, but his pit to his chest.
Kind of like the
terrible.
old Ronnie Garvin, Ric Flair chop fest.
Yeah,
Chop 'em
they
in.
were
Daniel
just-
Bryan can perform for an hour and a half. That's why he has one Bella twin. John Cena performs for 3 minutes. That's why he is without the other. Grounds for divorce.
Fair enough. That's
For
a
the
good
booby
equation. That's a good
Oh,
equation.
I
like that.
actually.
I like that. You make
So
some sense
an
there.
hour and 16 minutes, Daniel Bryan stayed,
An hour and 16
and he was
minutes.
eliminated by Cass. Oh, I like this breakdown thing.
Very good. And so who were the last two in the
The
ring?
last two was Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, Big Cass. Yeah, it was those 3 guys.
Alexander Cars calls Azrael the greatest American.
Yes, I am. I am the longest standing American in history. I've been here since the founding fathers signed in great big letters, white people only. John Hancock signed the thing. It was fantastic.
All right, so
Were you just going to let the Indians run around with buffalo all over the place? You're welcome. There's Starbucks and malls everywhere. What else was I going to do? Live in the circle of life and live off the land like a fruit? No! I need my chai latte, by God.
Your overall opinion
Such a
of
white
the
girl.
Greatest Rumble.
It was good. $20 million ain't nothing to sneeze at, Johnny De La O.
So you give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs, way up. The only thing I could find to show my happiness would be a picture of Muhammad. But apparently that's a big deal.
No. Oh, no.
See, if you draw the Prophet
No.
Muhammad, they declare what is called a fatwa, where they will then kill you.
I enjoyed it.
You
Yeah.
enjoyed it? You give it a thumbs up, too?
Yeah. Yeah, for something so simple, 6 hours as I was working, wasted, was perfect.
Give me a pen.
It was a
Right,
perfect
no,
background.
going to draw Muhammad.
No, do not draw. I do not want us to get... I don't want us to get protested, all right? I don't want to
Oh,
see protesters
man.
outside of the office,
How
all
will
right?
I know what to pray to without a
Oh,
picture
yeah.
of it?
And then also,
Right.
Sami Zayn couldn't perform
Oh!
How do you know?
because he is
She's
he's
talking about he couldn't work a match.
yeah, he couldn't work for
I was
the
wondering how she knew Sami Zayn.
yeah, he couldn't work for just like the women. He wasn't allowed.
Is he Jewish?
No, he's what's
Is he an atheist?
no. What is he?
Gay?
It's no.
Oh, I don't know.
He's I forgot what
well.
ethnicity.
Oh, like agnostic or something?
No. He's a who are the oh my god, it's
Sound
good.
it
Hold on,
out.
let me find it.
No, just tell
I
me.
forgot what
Well,
he-
describe
Democrat.
it.
I forgot what he is.
Because if people want to look
because
something up, they can look.
he's Canadian, but then he's
Who's
also
Jericho?
Oh, he's Israeli.
is that what it is?
He's probably. You mean he's
and they don't let those
Israelis
people.
in there? Oh my god.
They don't let those people.
All right, so my opinion on the Greatest Rumble is fuck you, Vince McMahon. Fuck you, WWE, and fuck you for having that bullshit. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. We're fighting for freedom for everyone. We're trying to land of the free, home of the brave, and we're gonna go over there and we're gonna sell our souls, our very ideals for how much was it, Dan?
$20 million.
You can go there. I don't like to curse on the air. I do not like to friggin' put my own liberal agenda out
Those are
there.
the rich
But you should be
ones.
ashamed of yourself. You know what? Hey, rich,
But the
whatever.
rich ones were in the crowd.
So what would have happened? Okay, what would have happened if a woman would have shown up to wrestle?
She'd
Exactly.
probably be in the Sultan's harem.
Exactly. What would have happened if a woman shows up to wrestle on a card out here? Absolutely nothing. I am
That's true.
sickened by the WWE. I am sickened by Vince McMahon and his buddy. What's his buddy's name?
Let's watch WCW. Oh, wait.
Yes,
ECW,
unfortunately.
ECW.
No.
No?
So that is
Oh,
my opinion.
everything.
2 thumbs down from Malice, a thumb and a thumb from the other two. I wanted any parting thoughts on the Royal Rumble? Greatest Rumble.
The Greatest Rumble?
Yes.
I don't really. It was just a fun background noise.
All
there
right.
really isn't much to it, really.
And you?
I looked at that city. Are they developing laser rifles? It looks like the Jetsons are running around. I expect to see camels in the Cave of Wonders and whatnot, and rubble, and they pan out, and there's glass towers, and solar panels everywhere. And I think, my God, I for one welcome our new Chinese overlords.
And they
Ni
have
hao,
Uber
brothers.
helicopters,
They're
too.
going to join them.
Yes. Meanwhile, Americans seem to think that we're way ahead of the
Which
rest
way
of the
is
world.
east?
No.
I'll pray to whatever.
When
Please
we have
don't
to deal
kill
with
me.
people like him, no.
Well, I want to thank you, Sandra, for coming into the podcast and talking about. Seeing as how you're the only one of us that really watched it, I refused to
I
watch
saw
it
the whole
when I learned about
thing.
that. But you saw, well, okay.
5 hours worth. I couldn't be.
So thank you and have a great night. Are you gonna say good night to our guest?
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamu
What?
alaikum.
Whatever. Slam lama ding dong to you too, Johnny Malice. I ain't been to church in a long,
All right, I'm
long
going to go
time.
get my chips.
You do
Bye-bye.
get your chips, right? Make sure that.
Make a sandwich. The men are discussing important affairs.
Let's talk about
Braun
Titus
Strowman
O'Neil.
won the
we
thing.
talked about Titus O'Neil.
Yes.
Braun Strowman won the whole thing. Let's talk about you wrestled this weekend.
Boy, howdy.
You wrestled at Amped Up Wrestling, right? Which was Sean Black's show
Yes.
that he did at the OCCW Training Center.
Yes, you're familiar.
I am familiar.
Sean Black is the owner, proprietor, baby daddy, and operator of Amped Up Wrestling. And I am the main antagonist of Amped Up Wrestling because if there's anything I hate, it's small business owned by, people that look like...
Like me?
Yes. What? No.
Oh.
Yeah, you're questionable.
I-
You can pass.
Oh, I get yeah. You sound like all my stepdad's friends. Yes. Oh, you sure you had the same parents? You and your brother there? He's a little bit darker. Yeah, my mom's not a whore. Yes, exactly. So anyway, that said, let's talk about your match. You had a match with Sean
African American.
African American. Now, you seem to have the support of at least half the crowd there.
Yes.
They were hanging on your every word.
Yes, indeed. People, my message speaks to many people, with the misspelled comments on Facebook and whatnot. A lot of people agree with Azrael, Not everyone should vote, John.
Not everyone does.
Yes, we're part of the problem. Boy, howdy. How would I have ever known that I just had to wait for Americans to be bored and tired of being free and they would just, surrender their liberty to people like me?
But not their guns. But not their guns, right, Dan?
Patience is a virtue. As long as you have your gun, you will be fine. Don't even worry about it. You don't have the money to buy a gun because minimum wage is like $3 or whatever the hell.
In your match, there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of use of weapons, and the combatants weren't the only one that got injured in the fracas.
Yes. Who put a female referee? Who let a woman be in charge of counting to 3? Who let a woman learn how to count to 3? First of all,
well, to be fair, this is not Abu Dhabi, and women are allowed in wrestling matches.
Maybe those people aren't all bad over there with the little dresses and whatnot. I could look good in one of those.
Do you want to talk about what happened to that poor referee?
Yes. I helped her live her dream of being impaled by a large black man. You are welcome anytime that I can support the dream.
Okay, to clarify, in the match, Azrael got out of the way of a Sean Black.
You would do.
Spear.
Yes.
And the referee, Danielle, I forgot her last name. Anyway, Danielle wound up taking the spear and getting knocked out while Dan covered Sean.
And I had him beat for a count of at least 47. I had Sean Black's shoulders pinned to the mat. Uno, dos, tres for the multivision crowd. Ichi, ni, san, chi. 1, 2, 3 in the proper language of America.
Yeah, so your thoughts on your match there and the card overall?
I was victorious. I am the best. I am the greatest. I am the real deal, the Ferris wheel in the tilt-a-whirl. Thank you very much. I am the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas. And Sean Black is a piece of trash. He got up. If not for that Chinese-made chair that I was trying to hit him with, that piece of junk, if it had been made in America, it would have stood up to the test of time and been made out of real steel. But, whatever kid put that together, screwed it together with his little hands just a little bit inefficiently. And that chair fell apart under the weight of Sean Black's massive posterior.
To be fair, that he took quite a few shots from that chair.
I beat him like a government mule. I beat him like he deserves to be beat.
Beat him like a cherry cookie drum?
Yes. What's red and yellow and runs around in my yard? Red, black, and yellow and runs around in my yard.
What's that?
Sean Black. I'll paint him whatever color I want.
Oh, God. All right. Also on the card, Mikey O'Shea took on Cal Jack. That was an epic struggle. Cal Jack is his name.
Yes. Dresses like a grizzly bear, and he's about the size of 2 of them.
Othello defended his OCCW title successfully against Freddie Flores in a special match.
Now, where are the people lining up to face Othello? Everyone makes fun of Azrael. Azrael had the stones to challenge Othello. Azrael came out and fought him not once, but twice. Everybody wants to be signed. Everybody wants to get on. Everybody wants to do big WWE things. Fight the WWE-sized human being. He's right here.
Fair enough. You know what? You realize that indie wrestling in Southern California is like a scene. Like there's a punk scene.
I have no friends. I fit in nowhere. But it is what it is.
So the scenesters in indie wrestling have what are you doing?
Money, making money.
Yes, we are, aren't we?
I am.
Let me ask you a question, and I'm not asking
and
you
investing it in Bitcoin.
I'm not asking you for specifics, but outside of OCCW, what would you say the average crowd that you wrestle in front of is?
Are any of these people really average? I mean, a lot of them quite, look like they have the same parents, if you know what I mean.
My point exactly. Okay, never mind. Let's move on. Let's talk about mind games.
We are drawing well. We are drawing better than anywhere else that I've seen.
Right. Let's move up to Mind Games. That's May 19th at the American Legion Post 716, where you will have a score to settle, if I'm not mistaken.
I do. Freddie Hellmuth is like the girlfriend who keeps crawling back to me no matter how many times I abuse her. I've choked her, give her the beating, I've thrown her to other dudes, and she keeps coming back. Coming back, Freddie. I don't understand it, but you are going to take my cane. You're going to take my stick. I'm going to put the whooping. I'm going to put the beating on Freddie Hellmuth. I'm going to be rid of you, Freddie, on May 19th at Mind Games. And if there's anything that I know, it's Mind Games. I would sit down to a battle of wits with Freddie Hellmuth, but I will not kill an unarmed man, Johnny Malice.
Fair enough. And with that, we're going to welcome in our next guest. You know him as...
Is it Nicolette? Please let it be Nicolette.
No, not quite. This is B.A. Marcus Frey. Come on and have a seat. We got it all warm for you.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, I didn't mean nothing by it. You're all fine.
Good to see you.
Lovely. So you're a cop, right? I'm fine.
I don't want to touch that.
We're separate but equal. That's
Now, finally we're equal?
separate, but I'm a little bit above.
Yeah. Only way you're above is if you're standing on something.
My water fountain shoots out Kool-Aid. Don't be jealous.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Mind Games. That's May 19th.
Yeah.
You are wrestling.
I'm wrestling the man that likes to call himself Voodoo Master.
Voodoo Master. Right.
Yeah.
And I understand in OCCW, Voodoo Master has a new manager. Is that right? How is that going to affect your approach to that match?
I mean, I've heard rumors about he's got a new manager. I guess we'll see whoever it is at the event. But regardless, it doesn't matter who you come out with. It doesn't matter what you bring with you. You could bring your whole family. You could bring your what do you call it? Your auntie.
Your tia Toncha and your 12 cousins.
Exactly.
Yes.
You could bring that whole family. It don't matter.
You know what I mean when I say tia Toncha?
I have no idea what that means. Thank God.
I didn't think you did.
Yeah, no,
Right.
he's not as educated as he likes to portray. But yeah, it doesn't matter who you bring with you, because at the end of the day, it's me and him in the ring. You can have whatever manager at the side. They just gonna be watching you get your butt whooped. That's pretty much it.
I went to public school, man. I remember when he flew over to America, and then he made all the Indians happy, and then they were all red because of the blood flying off of them, and then that's the Book of Mormon.
Yes, I know. Yes. And they buried it.
So you did read a book, the Book of Mormon.
I've
Very
read
good.
many books. I've read the King James Bible and the Marine Corps Code of Conduct, and they're both in my dressing room.
Very good. Your approach to Voodoo Master. I know you guys came up through the OCCW wrestling school ranks together.
Right.
And at one time, you were teammates, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any true heat between the two of you, but I know that this is going to be a competitive match. I know you have conflicting styles. I think that obviously I think it's going to be a good match, or I wouldn't have booked it.
Yeah.
Michael Primrose.
Probably one of the best managers in wrestling.
What is he gonna? Is he steering you in any particular direction towards that match?
All he's steering me in is the direction of do what I do best, which is going in, giving them some fists, beating them down, and pinning them for the 3. That's it. So I don't really need much more drive than to know that when I go out there and show that I am one of the best in that ring, then that's all I need. I mean, you can put whoever across the ring from me, and it's going to be the same outcome. He can come with his mind games of voodoo and all that other stuff. It doesn't matter what he brings. He can bring anything that he wants to the ring. He can cut a chicken's head off and start a ritual in the middle of that ring if he wants to. It doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
What if you have to face Othello? What about B.A. Marcus Frey versus Othello? Throw some crack in between the two of you and watch you kill each other for the amusement of Primrose.
Let's move along. All right, so
Reaganomics.
The last Reaganomics. I'm sorry.
Just Just watch them go at it. They will for years and years. Throw blue on one of them, red on the
I'm
other.
sorry, I don't think that's funny.
Let the problem take care of itself.
I apologize. You know what?
It just shows the level of his ignorance. That's all it is.
You know what? He's excited. He got a new set of tires for his house this week, and so he's flying very high.
Sipping on some True Blood or whatever it is that he thinks gives him power.
My double wide is a delight.
Let's go over the match card, what we've got, in addition to other matches.
I'll have you know that I got 2 tiki torches with my barbecue and my Confederate flag when I went to Walmart for my steel chair.
Yeah.
They were on sale.
And did you see your Aunt Peg there too? Was she there with her
his aunt / ex-girlfriend?
These things you say are very hurtful.
Yeah, was it
true?
A
lot of people say that the truth hurts.
Was your sister cousin there?
Base.
All right,
you know what? Just because you don't have no attractive relatives, don't give me a hard time about it.
This is true. I
The
can't
moonshine
think of
making
one.
you
I'm sorry, I can't think of one.
Yeah, I should be able to say that I have an attractive.
Just trying to keep the gene pool pure. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
babe?
Malcor versus Tony
so when
Reyes.
you come out with 6 toes and 4 fingers, that's pure. It's as pure as it
They're
gets.
good at
Or red
swimming. 6 fingers is good swimming. And we all know how important your swimming ability is in the legal system.
Okay.
Look it up on it.
Okay, Malcor versus Tony Reyes. Who do you got?
Tony Reyes flying the Confederate battle standard and planting it right in Malcor's stupid face like we did at Shiloh.
I can't agree with that one. I got to say that Malcor is showing a lot of promise and just pure destruction when he steps in that ring.
Malcor's moving really well. He's young. He's a big guy. He's been tearing things up in MPW. And by the way, Clint and Paul up at MPW want to wish you continued success. I hear that you guys are putting on a lot of shows, a lot of good shows. Yeah. And, if you ever need anything, I'll be able to be happy to help you out. We got La Raza versus the new team of Chris Camacho and Drew Masters. Now, those are 2 other guys you came up with in OCCW Wrestling School. And have you been in the ring with any of the members of La Raza yet?
I haven't had the pleasure of wrestling La Raza. I'm a fan of what they do, though. Right.
And what do you think about that match, Azrael? La Raza versus Camacho and Drew Masters.
Man. Camacho and Masters are gonna prove their superiority over the Raisins this May 19th. And
That's La Raza.
I feel like he's only picking them because they have
something you should be familiar with.
No,
you're only picking them because that's the team that has the lightest skin guy on it. That's the only reason why you're picking them.
Japanese is better than other stuff. White rice is better than brown rice for you.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's not actually.
It's healthy for you.
Moving on. So, what do you think is going to happen there? Well, who do you got?
I got to take the experience over
champs.
the youth. Yeah, the champs have shown that they got a lot of strength on their side. The consistency every time they step in that ring and defend those titles. It's been a pleasure to watch them.
And they bring 47 fans with them in both cars that they own.
Yes, somewhere in Santa Ana, there's an empty apartment because they're all at the wrestling show.
I tried to go to Home Depot on the morning of a La Raza match and couldn't find a single helper for miles. And then I found that they'd all taken the day off to partake of the wrestling event.
Very good. Well, it's good that we have La Raza and their Raza coming and watching wrestling rather than only going to see lucha shows, wouldn't you say?
I don't like that they're the race. That is a terrible thing to be proud of.
I feel like Azrael's just mad because his family won't leave their clan meeting to come watch his matches.
A lot of important things are decided at those. Like how to vote in Congress.
Oh.
Because, there's some overlap there, I'm pretty sure. Looking at you, West Virginia. Looking at you.
They're busy making America great again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, passing the tax plan. You're welcome.
We also have Mikey O'Shea against newcomer to OCCW, but an established gentleman, Dan Moon. Are you familiar with Dan Moon? Either of you.
Never actually seen a Dan Moon match.
He's a stallion of a man, and he's going to run circles around Mikey O'Shea till he dies of the heart attack that he obviously has coming to him.
Big ups and respect to Mikey O'Shea. He's taught me a lot in that ring, and I can't see anyone handing him anything.
That's
when he
right.
steps
That's
in the
right.
ring with
Kiss
him.
up to your trainer. I don't want to do no push-ups
It's not kissing
today.
up. It's respect.
Oh, no, Mikey O'Shea,
It's respect. It's something that you don't have for anybody you sit next to, talk to, or get in the ring with. It's called respect.
So do you pull yourself over and give you a whooping? Who keeps you in line? Who checks to see if is your tail light operational? I'm gonna go find out after this. Better not be.
Our next match will be Max Ammo versus Jimmy Mayhem, and an interesting subplot to this Ammo versus Mayhem. They are tag team partners. In fact, they'll be tag teaming on somewhere else before this, but this is going to be Max Ammo's last match here in the United States, as he has to go back to his country.
I gotta be rid of that one? All the ones that I've called about, you pick that one. Out of the 47 other ones that I've called the government about getting rid of, you have to find Max Ammo and get rid of him.
Your Aryan brother, you're sad that he's leaving.
Out of all the ones that I would have expected to, fall under the tree of, documentation being an issue, would not have known.
Why? Because he's white?
Yeah, that's
More
it.
than a little, yes. Why are they gonna take him to Mexico?
They're not taking him to Mexico. He's choosing to fly back to England.
But we take him to Mexico. You find the ones that you don't want here, and you go south like 15 minutes and drop them off.
Azrael, he's not being sent back. He's choosing to go back
He's
home.
choosing to leave.
To spend
He's
some time
tired
with
of
his
being
mother
around the
getting-
ignorant
Why would you want to
Americans
be in
like
England?
Azrael, so he's choosing to go back to his home.
Is that what he said? He's tired of all the. He doesn't want to see America get great again. Is what he's saying?
He's tired of the great turning into hate and ignorance.
We beat them in a war before, and we gonna beat them in a war again, you limey Britishman. How many basketball gold medals have you ever won, England? We have a lot.
Haven't seen a lot of people looking like Azrael out there winning anything in any Olympics.
Shouldn't enough of that Jackie Robinson. Don't you bring that up, boy. If that was a
to
sore
be
point,
fair,
I'd be blamed.
clearly you're not watching all the swimming events. You know, things with the big
true.
pool and all that,
Yeah.
guys. And the
Hockey.
Winter Olympics.
Hey,
Hockey
at the
belongs to me.
last swimming Olympics, though, we did have a black guy in that pool. We sure did.
Well, yeah.
And then everybody else had to swim in it and get all gross
Okay.
and oily. With
He's
the
gonna be
Jerry
wrestling.
curl.
He's gonna be wrestling He's gonna be wrestling Jimmy Mayhem. Jerry curl. Nobody's worn Jerry curl in 20 years.
I remember when that was a thing.
I barely remember when that was a thing.
Yeah, it was dark times.
Jimmy Mayhem. You know Jimmy Mayhem. You've actually wrestled Jimmy
I
Mayhem.
have.
What is Jimmy Mayhem going to bring to the table or to the ring as it is?
Jimmy Mayhem is made out of granite itself. I put a beating on him that would have killed a lesser man. I fired up my Kamehameha. I got my power level over 9,000, and I drilled him in that stomach made out of rock and damn near broke my hand on Jimmy Mayhem. He is often the shogun of Harlem. He is also wise in the art of kung fu. And, a tremendous athlete, an amazing fighter, but, Max Ammo's gonna win. Max Ammo.
Max Ammo. All right.
No, I don't think so. I mean, after
course
that beating that I put on Max Ammo, I'm surprised that he has enough to get back in the ring.
And he's old enough to be your dad. Were you taking out some aggression on, Max Ammo?
Well, I mean, at least I know my dad, and I know
Are you
my dad
sure?
is not my brother.
As we go to Little League games together and we're
Yeah. Kissing cousins, the way to go, I guess.
just trying to keep it pure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Got to keep that stay in the shallow end of the gene pool.
Yep.
Have you ever tried, meeting people is difficult. You try to go out into the dating scene in the world, much better to be with somebody you're familiar with.
easier to
At
meet
Thanksgiving, you get a little drunk.
Easier to meet people when you pull your head out of your ass.
What?
Okay, now that seems to be another topic that actually Sandra's better about because she's all about that human centipede thing. All right. And we've already talked about Azrael versus Helmuth and what you're going to do to
When
him.
y'all come crawling out of the coal
fact that Helmuth
mine.
is finally going to get some revenge and lay him out the way that he's supposed to be, yeah, that'll be a nice match.
Freddie Helmuth is a troll of a man, and I'm going to be rid of him on May 19th. I've had enough. No more cleaners, no more hangers-on. I am free. I've sacrificed every friend I've got to rise in OCCW. I will drink Freddie Helmuth's blood right out of his stew. Does he have anything? Has he been tested?
You know what? I wanted to test him, but he insisted he get a chance to study first. So I didn't know. I didn't think he quite understood what I was hitting at. So I just kind of let it go.
You ain't no doctor.
The main event of the evening for the Orange County Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, we have Othello,
Champ.
the big fellow,
Money.
7 foot tall,
All day.
390 pounds,
Can't teach that.
against the winner of the Bushido Cup,
Cheater.
Vintage Dragon.
Garbage.
I heard Vintage Dragon's from Nicaragua.
Yeah,
I thought we weren't supposed to say that on
No.
the air,
Nicaragua is a country in South America. Central America. Latin America? Right. Blackwater is what it means.
Yeah.
Like Cuba?
A little
Puerto Rico.
No, like in the mainland. It's in the mainland.
Puerto Rico.
No, Puerto Rico's.
Come on. It's Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Either way, it's probably underwater somewhere. Send them paper towels. It'll be fine.
Geography aside, you've seen Vintage Dragon. Have you wrestled Vintage Dragon?
I've seen him. No.
Okay. Now, Vintage Dragon has had some titanic struggles with Mikey O'Shea here at OCCW, right? As has Othello, right? What does Vintage Dragon? Vintage Dragon isn't much taller than you. In fact, he might be a little bit smaller than you.
I am at least 1.5 feet taller than Vintage Dragon.
So Vintage Dragon is smaller than you. What does Vintage Dragon have to do to put Othello's shoulders to the mat? 1, 2, 3.
Run for his very life. If I can't do it, it can't be done. You're gonna have to find some 8 foot tall Adonis, some stallion of a man, some mythical man creature that's gonna have to fight that man. Champion forever.
And you agree?
It's the one thing that he said that actually makes any sense.
Vintage Dragon is very tiny. What do you want me to do about it? Whose fault is that?
It's literally a lizard going up against a grizzly bear.
I like that.
It's you just can't bring anything to the table that's going to take Othello down, especially when you're running around calling yourself Vintage Dragon.
Can't get big off of horchata and plantains and whatever.
It's not gonna happen.
You know what I mean? Can't make them gains.
There are no wings big enough on that dragon that's gonna get him up high enough to beat Othello. It's not happening.
Them little banana things.
Okay.
There's not a lot of protein.
Okay. I'm trying to hold it together. You know, I could do this. Maybe that explains why Mikey O'Shea always does this.
Mikey O'Shea is a crazy
And he holds that for
moron.
like a half an hour.
Because
Right? He doesn't want to die of laughter like apparently I'm going to. All right. Now, I'm not laughing at your views or opinions. I'm just laughing near you.
Yeah, he's laughing at him because he's a joke.
We're laughing at Vintage Dragon, however. But if Vintage Dragon is successful in pinning, the man giant Othello, I demand a rematch with the Vintage Dragon in a karate fight.
How do you get a rematch against someone you never faced?
A rematch for the title.
So you believe that you still should be at the front of the line, even though the last time you got a title shot, you got wore out like a redheaded stepchild, and you believe that you deserve another title shot?
I think a man like me should be president of this United States, or someone who looks like me.
Well, I mean,
46 consecutive
with
times
our
in a row.
president now, yeah, you're pretty much up there on that same
We
level.
had one that looks like Marcus Frey, and how did that go for anyone?
It went
It
pretty
went
well for
actually
me.
really well.
What, did you make more money?
Actually, I did.
It doesn't matter.
What? But he's doesn't sunburn or nothing. He's a Muslim.
Oh, yes.
He's not even from America. He's from Kenya because he's skinny. You've seen Americans? They're not skinny like Obama.
That's true. They're not skinny anymore. That's for sure.
I would like to know where Obama was on 9/11. Why wasn't he in the White House defending the United States if he a president?
Well, he wasn't the president.
He
George
wasn't
Bush was
at
the
that-
president.
What? I need to look into this
You do.
conspiracy.
You need
Yes,
to
you might
do
wanna
some
check that out, huh?
research.
Was he flying one of the planes?
No. He would have parachuted out if he wanted to
That
get
makes
reelected or elected, right?
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about any matches you may have upcoming prior to May 19th. I understand this weekend you're going to be wrestling.
Yeah, I'll be
Marcus,
wrestling for CPW Rumble in the Jungle May 4th this Friday. Yeah. Get your chuckles in. Get your chuckles in.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all right.
Oh God.
I mean,
So
just because you're not man enough to actually make it to the show, you can laugh all you want.
I'm gonna go to that. I want to see that. It's
Will there be
now.
a spear on a pole, man?
Now shut. All right, I'm gonna shut your microphone down. You keep talking
What?
like that. Hey, we have a guest.
I don't
We have a
know.
guest.
I
We
don't
have a
know the
guest.
stipulations.
Show a little bit of respect. Tell us again the show, the time, and the place. Who, the where, the what, and the when.
It's CPW. It's going to be the Rumble in the Jungle, May 4th. The show starts at 9 p.m. Doors open at 8. It's in the industrial area in Los Angeles.
A lot of jungle there, is there? A lot of palm trees and fronds and whatnot.
Franz? Did you just say
Palm
Franz?
fronds.
I
Palm
know.
fronds.
Franz. You said Franz.
You know, homeless people's tents
You don't know
are
the exact
not,
address?
I believe it's 1518 in industrial. I believe the industrial park in LA.
Right. We're gonna ask producer Robert if he could look up what is it?
CPW.
CPW. All right. That's what does it stand for? Championship Professional Wrestling.
I'm
We're gonna go with CPW. Azrael, are you wrestling anywhere? Are you?
I'm going to
those
Viva
weed shows?
Las Vegas, the city of sin. We're going to fight in BVW.
Hopefully they keep him out there.
Cinco de Mayo, the day that, the Mexicans were defeated by the United States military on the 5th of May, and they celebrate their introduction into California. You're welcome.
Okay. That's not exactly what Cinco de Mayo is. If it's
Pretty
about when
sure.
when the Mexicans
No?
defeated
No?
the French. No,
When did they beat the French at anything? Was it soccer?
hasn't everyone?
Soccer?
Hasn't
World
everyone?
Cup?
Hasn't everyone beaten the French?
Yeah, I think so.
They do surrender quite
French are definitely
handily,
not
the
known
Frenchmen.
for.
Okay.
May 11th, I'm at Fist Combat. Me and Ronald McDonald are going to fight True Grit. I've had enough of the Cowboys and their nonsense, and I'm coming for you, Hoss and Jesse. Coming for you on May 11th.
Okay. May 11th. You're at was it Hybrid Pro, Weed Pro? What's it called?
Fist. F-I-S-T.
Okay. All right.
People are going to get fisted.
Yeah, I bet you know a
Yeah,
lot
you
about
like raising
that.
the fist, don't you? I see how you are. Assalamu alaikum, shamalama ding dong, and whatnot. I'm trying to bridge gaps here.
Thank you. You're definitely
welcome.
gapping some bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We are up against the hour. We're going to be signing off in a minute. But before we do, I wanted to, and this is going to be a surprise to both of you, right? But I wanted to bring this off as a surprise so that I get an honest response. Last night I was up late, and I still watch DVDs because I have rabbit ears on my flat screen at home. I don't have cable, and I don't have internet at my house. So I pulled out an old DVD of a movie called The Condemned.
With Steve Austin, right?
Stone Cold
Yes.
Steve Austin, right? Yeah, you haven't seen it yet.
Still haven't gotten a chance to catch that one.
Now, I've got to admit, not only is that one of my all-time favorite movies, now when I say all-time favorite movies, it's a pretty long list. There's like 100 movies on there. But it's definitely one of my favorite movies, right? It boggles the mind to think that Stone Cold Steve Austin did not go on to the heights that The Rock did. For some reason, The Rock, who's just, that escapes me as well.
The dude's got the look. That's what that is.
In any case, I wanted to ask both of you about your favorite wrestling movie. Movie with stars someone in the wrestling, or is about pro wrestling, or has a pro wrestling type theme. And Ready to Rumble does not count because
I hated
I
Ready
mean,
to
that's
Rumble.
stupid.
If Mikey O'Shea was here, he would
No.
argue with you on that
These are
one.
crazy idiots.
Yes.
Ready to Rumble was terrible.
Yeah. So,
No holds barred. Hulk Hogan beating up
See,
Zeus.
he took mine. That was my.
He picks him up, Dookie. And he's, the whole thing. He has to defend the crippled kid. It all makes sense.
and those of you watching, I want you to send me what your favorite movie is. CJ Infante just said The Wrestler, which was actually a fantastic
Wrestler.
movie.
It's a phenomenal film, yeah.
I find it glorifies independent wrestling in that the man owned a car and lived on his own, didn't live over his parents' house or anything like that.
Can't all be the king of England, John.
So, okay, your favorite wrestling themed movie was No Holds Barred,
Yes.
and yours too.
Yeah.
Ha! They're an unoriginal folk.
I actually saw that in the theater, and I was thoroughly
Suburban Commando.
I feel like the word that you're going to say is disappointed.
not disappointed, disgusted in myself that I paid money to see
Wow.
probably the wrestler I hate more than any wrestler ever.
Well, I mean, he's on the headline, so I don't know why you would have paid to go see it.
Honestly,
then
I
if you,
thought Zeus might go over in the movie. I really did.
I mean, at that time, though, Hulk Hogan was the most over wrestler
he was
ever.
I think he was probably pretty much the first one to cross over into mainstream. Okay, give me another wrestling
Hulk Hogan's
movie.
a real American, and I approve of his views. Brother.
Okay,
So now,
Take them
are you
vitamins, say a
asking
prayer.
for us to give you a
I
movie
mean-
that is involving a wrestler but is not themed to wrestling though?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, and you can't say, oh well, Guardians of the Galaxy because Bautista's in it. Well,
I mean, that you
that doesn't-
technically.
that doesn't
Suburban
play off
Commando.
any- Okay. Benjamin Zayek says They Live with the great Roddy Piper. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
What'd you
actually.
think? That was a really good
I liked
flick.
it a lot.
You know, let me
I'm
tell you
here
an
to
interesting story
chew
about
bubblegum.
They Live, because I was around when it was out in theaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it came out, and it was the #1 movie in America for 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, it was the #1 movie in America.
Okay.
The third week, gone from theaters.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do they hate Roddy
It
Piper?
was gone from theaters.
Wow.
Now, how does that throw into that conspiracy theorem, right?
Yeah.
Look,
I think it
he's
touched
the
a
#1
nerve.
movie in America.
Yeah, and they pull.
And they're talking about how, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Talking about the government, consumerism. Get that down out of there. You can't
Yeah.
just have people looking behind the curtain at the thing. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Exactly. Brian Chansey says Three Ninjas High Noon at, was it Magic Mountain or some shit like that?
Yeah,
Magic Mountain.
that
What was it? High Noon at Ninja Mountain?
I
What was
believe
it called?
because I think that one is Hogan's in that
yeah,
one too, right?
he
Hogan's
plays
in all of
like a
these.
retired
Yeah,
wrestler or
that's
whatever TV star.
Triple H was a nanny in something. That was terrible.
Pretty
CJ
sure that was
Infante,
the pacifier, or was that the with Triple H being the the babysitter?
that was the one with.
Yes.
Was that the one with Hulk Hogan as the babysitter, or is that the one with?
I think because they did another one with
This is
Triple
funny
H
to
as
have-
the babysitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just funny to have the big giant man watching the kids for some reason. I don't know why.
Benjamin Zayek
He's so
says.
confused. He doesn't know how to nurture. Oh God! I killed the kid.
Okay, CJ Infante says Blade Trinity starring Triple H.
I like it because it has vampires in it.
Yes. You like it because it has Wesley Snipes in it.
I
Okay.
mean, hey, Wesley Snipes at that time he was.
The original wrestler with Benjamin Zayek says Ed Asher, but I think he means Ed Asner. I saw that. I remember staying up late one night and when it was on broadcast TV. I didn't quite get it. And here's one we would have missed. Kristen Teresa Bell says The Princess Bride with Andre the Giant. What is The
classic.
Chaperone?
Chaperone.
No
What was
clue.
that? The Triple H watches kids. The Rock watches kids. Maybe I wouldn't leave Randy Orton with no kids. That's for sure. Randy Orton seems the sort that might put a little something in your drink if you're not careful around Randall. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Another wrestling movie that I had heard when I was what is this? It was The Chaperone was Triple H as the babysitter.
Yeah. Okay.
They're crying. Pedigree. Boom. That's the bit.
Yes, I get it. What did you think of now the name escapes me. Ric Flair was in a movie. There was a wrestling movie. Okay, how about wrestling movies about wrestlers?
Wrestling
was-
with Shadows. This Bret Hart character is
No.
very salty.
Yeah, guys. Well, there was one called Body Slam. Did you ever see that with the Tonga Kid and Roddy Piper were a tag team?
I seen it on Pornhub.
And Face from the A Team, Dirk Benedict, was their manager. And wrestling Lou Albano's guys. You got neither one of you have seen that? It's called Body Slam.
Never seen that one.
You look like the guy from the A Team. Say you don't want to put up with my jibba jabba. Say it. Say the line. Come on.
I ain't getting on the
Come
plane.
on,
Come
you-
on, no.
Do your 8 hours of milk.
no.
Stay in vegetables. Don't do sleep.
All right. Well, we are past the hour now, so we are on overtime. So I want to once again, where are you going to be wrestling this weekend?
CPW. It's going to be the Rumble in the Jungle, May 4th, starting at 9 p.m.
All right. And this weekend for you?
Cinco de Mayo in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. What's it called? BPW?
Big valley.
Oh,
Because Las
BVW.
Vegas is a giant valley.
In the middle of the desert.
Yes.
All right.
At least it's actually a desert and not a jungle in the middle of LA.
And I want to thank
Yeah,
you all
only
for
real
watching.
men go to that
like,
jungle.
share, subscribe to the Royal Ramble OCCW May 19th at American Legion Post 716. Tickets are $10 pre-sale, $15 at the door. I promise you, get your tickets early because this event will sell out. And when I say sell out, 200 to 300 people, not 50 or 60.
Yep.
This has been the Royal Ramble. For our guest, B.A. Marcus Frey,
Keep it
Sandra
loose.
Sandra, and my host,
Yes.
Azrael. This has been Jonathan Malice. Wrestle well, ladies and gentlemen.